Travel, food, wine, politics, there is something for everyone, and it's all available in CRN High Definition Sound. Log on to www.CRN Talk for listings and information on all your favorite shows. That's www.crntalk.com.
The radio channels. The radio channels. CR.
News this hour from townhall.com. I'm Ron DeRockstra. More than 130,000 customers are without power as Barry continues to make its presence felt along the Gulf Coast. At last check, the tropical storm is located about 20 miles west-southwest of Lafayette, Louisiana, with winds of 65 miles an hour. Flooding and high water in a number of cities along the Gulf. Louisiana Governor John Bel Edwards says the storm's danger far from over, though.
Nobody should look out their door and say, well, the water isn't rising now, so I think they're overestimating it. This is going to happen not just as rain falls in the immediate vicinity over the next number of hours, but as rain falls north as well, because all of that rain is going to flow south.
Federal appeals court gave President Trump a rare legal win in his efforts to crack down on sanctuary cities yesterday, upholding the Justice Department's decision to give preferential treatment in awarding community policing grants to cities that cooperate with immigration authorities. Vice President Mike Pence, visiting the McAllen Border Patrol Station in Texas yesterday, said border agents there are doing the best they can under difficult circumstances.
Our Customs and Border Protection are doing a good job in difficult circumstances. But they need help. And the help is precisely to change the laws that human traffickers are using to entice the vulnerable families that we saw today to make the long and dangerous journey north.
Mr. Pence says he's pushed for more federal spending to deal with the situation. Special counsel Robert Mueller's much-anticipated public testimony has been postponed a week. Mueller agreeing to delay the testimony before both the House Judiciary and Intelligence Committees in order to give both committees more time to ask their questions. Check out more news. Read the best analysis at townhall.com.
Maybe you'd like to know what exactly Relief Factor is. It was created by doctors. It's a 100% drug-free supplement with 4 key ingredients that simply help your own body deal with the natural inflammatory response that it has. It's easy to swallow, 4 little capsules in each packet, like the packet that I carry with me at all times. 3 packets a day for a week, then 2 packets a day for 2 weeks, and I have just described the 3-week quick start. And you will know in 3 weeks. That's the beauty of it. Whether it works, they don't drag you on. That costs just $19.95. There's a very good chance that a very serious percentage of my listeners suffer from some sort of muscular or joint pain. You should try this for $19.95. That's all you can lose. If it works, they will send it to you automatically. If it doesn't work, tell them not to send any shipments, and it's as simple as that. It is all at ReliefFactor.com. I've been using it for years now. ReliefFactor.com.
There's a new women's champ at Wimbledon.
Simona Halep has defeated Serena Williams in the women's final at Wimbledon today. It'll be number 1 versus number 2 in the Wimbledon men's final Sunday as top-ranked Novak Djokovic faces Roger Federer.
That's Patrick Foss reporting. Foss says that Halep won her first Wimbledon title and kept Serena Williams from winning her 8th 6-2, 6-2 in a match that lasted just 56 minutes. It's the second major title for the 7th-seeded Romanian who won the French Open last year. Williams was trying to win her record-equaling 24th Grand Slam singles title, but she failed in a final for the 3rd time. Williams lost to Angelique Kerber in last year's Wimbledon final and to Naomi Osaka in the championship match at the U.S. Open, though Williams still holds the record for the most major singles titles in the professional era with 23, one more than Steffi Graf. Breaking news and analysis at townhall.com. Tennessee Senator Marsha Blackburn's troubled by what she's learning about the sexual exploitation of children online.
This is horrific.
More horrific, she says, because of the easy access predators gain to children.
Pedophiles are using popular social media apps.
And she says YouTube's video recommendation feature can lead somebody from one inappropriate video to others in the same vein.
Until the user is buried in smut that shouldn't even exist.
Blackburn is calling on all social media giants to enact greater protections for children. Bob Agnew reporting.
Sunday news shows. ABC's This Week cast scheduled Senator Amy Klobuchar. On NBC's Meet the Press, Senators Bernie Sanders and Wisconsin Republican Senator Ron Johnson. CBS's Face the Nation welcomes Mark Morgan, the acting commissioner of the U.S. Customs and Border Protection. More at townhall.com. I'm Ron DeRockstra.
Do you owe back taxes to the IRS? Newsflash, the president has changed the tax laws, and now you may be able to pay the IRS less. If you owe $10,000 or more in back taxes, the tax doctor can help you pay the IRS as little as possible allowed by law. There are new tax laws for business owners, the self-employed, even W-2 workers. If you have a back tax problem or a few years of unfilled returns, new help to save you money is now here. Call right now to see how the new tax laws can help you. Plus, right now, we'll waive the consultation fee and give you a free tax savings report. Attention business owners, the self-employed, and W-2 workers. Make this free call to the tax doctor now and learn how to take advantage of the new tax laws that may help you pay the IRS less. 800-985-1610. 800-985-1610. 800-985-1610. That's 800-985-1610.
Trying to sell your old car? Instead, donate your vehicle to Heritage for the Blind. Pickup is free, and your donation is tax deductible. Just call 1-800-785-9618. Heritage for the Blind accepts cars, vans, trucks, and boats, whether they run or not. Call right now and receive a free 3-day vacation voucher to over 50 locations. Call 1-800-785-9618. Donate your car today. That's 1-800-785-9618.
You can try fighting the law all you want, but the law is always going to win. From politicians and celebrities to sports figures and business leaders, they're fighting the law. Now, here to sort out the nation's top legal news stories is America's favorite legal analyst, Royal Oakes. This is the Royal Oakes Show.
Robbing people with a 6-gun. I fought the law and the law won. I fought the law and the law won.
Thank you, Mike Horn, and welcome to the Royal Oak Show. And greetings to our co-host, Ken Jeffries.
Hello
How was your
there.
week, Ken?
All right. It was pretty good. Another big news week. A lot of stuff going on. You know.
Absolutely. Our millennial correspondent, Connor Oakes. How are you doing?
I'm doing very well. Happy to be here, as always.
So, the world turned upside down. You know what that reference is from? Revolutionary War reference?
Ooh.
Clock is ticking. Do we have the clock ticking?
The shot heard around the world?
No, when Cornwallis surrendered to Washington at Yorktown, the band played "The World Turned Upside Down."
Wow.
How's that for boring historical trivia?
He was at an airport, according to Trump. He surrendered at an airport, didn't he?
No, don't beat up on poor Trump. In a minute, we're going to be talking about how the odds are with Mr.
We got him
Trump.
at the airports. We got him at the ramparts.
Go to Vegas and lay some money down. You better do it on Trump. We're going to get into that. But the thing about the world turning upside down, Disneyland's supposed to be the happiest place in the world.
Yeah,
well,
course.
they're brawling. Guys are beating up
fight,
women.
yeah.
The fight. We're going to get into that.
Well, that fight that made the news.
Absolutely. And Democrats are fighting. AOC and Nancy Pelosi aren't getting along.
Fighting Segway.
Yeah,
Ooh,
so we're going to get into all that. And by the way, this is our 100th show, so congratulations,
my
guys.
goodness.
We made a big deal out of the 75th. We showed up in tuxedos and
And that was 25 weeks ago. Wait
That
a
was
minute.
25 short weeks ago. So congratulations.
Time flies when you're having
and
fun.
thanks to our listeners/viewers. So
Mostly slashers out there, and
So let's kick it off with
slashing.
the idea of Trump being a clear favorite. According to the Washington Post, of all folks, he's a clear favorite to win re-election, which is really kind of weird when you'd have to look very hard to find anybody who truly, if you hooked him up to the polygraph, would say really good things about him and say that they like him and would invite him home to Sunday dinner.
I don't know. I think there's a lot of crazy people out there who are fully
know some
on
people
board.
who would invite him for Sunday dinner so they could cook him.
Sure.
Well,
put 'em
now
in the
let's
oven,
back up a second to Connor's crazy people reference. Doesn't
Sorry,
it sound a lot like
I meant
Hillary Clinton's
deplorables?
deplorables?
Yeah, totally different. I didn't mean
that get her
crazy.
into trouble?
Yeah, but it wasn't wrong. But
60 million
it did get her
people?
into
You're
trouble.
saying 60
Hillary
million
bring to
people
this
can be
dinner
wrong?
a basket of deplorables to go with these turkey
So
dinners?
here's my
I don't
question.
know.
Do we think that the Democrats all raising their hands at the debate saying, yes, we want illegals to come on down, it's no longer going to be a crime, yes, we want to pay for health care for illegal aliens, do we think that's what led to the Washington Post saying, oh my God, Trump is likely to win re-election?
No,
What is
absolutely
it
not.
then?
It's a matter of we're very early in the primary season, and the Democrats are all running against one another, and they're going to, by virtue of the system, be tearing each other down and trying to build themselves up, and they're all competing with each other for different slices of the Democratic pie, and so. None of them is in a good position to challenge Trump at the moment, and polls are not especially good at capturing that. You look at anybody challenging an incumbent, they're going to look like a dog until they have established themselves as the front runner and left everybody else in the
then they
dust.
have to move to the center again, and a lot of it's fake.
Yeah.
Of
course it is.
I think a lot of it is. I think a lot of it's fake, and it's been for years fake.
And while it might be fake, and while it might be a lot of trying to signal to different interest groups to say, "Oh, come out for me, come out for me," that doesn't mean that it won't eventually end up in part of their party platform. It's just a matter of how high up on the priority list these things are. They might be signaling that they're the most important thing ever, but Elizabeth Warren does have a plan for everything, including my love life, as they say. So, lay it out. Yeah, that was the Twitter joke of the week last week. Elizabeth Warren's got a plan for everything, so why don't I have a boyfriend, etc. Right? So that
okay.
or girlfriend. Don't worry, Ken.
Okay.
So she's got all the plans. She's got a platform.
Wrong with that.
She's got a platform. She's got a plan. She's going to put them into place. But you're right. Is she and is every other candidate signaling that everybody's interest group is the most important one? Of course. Yes, that part is fake.
Now, Trump has a luxury, though. His approval rating, what is it? I don't even know what it is, but it's
a 46% positive, something like 54% negative, which sounds bad, and yet apparently, compared to other
regardless of what it
presidents
is, he doesn't have to move any place politically.
Right.
Because he's got the nomination. No one's going to challenge him, really, of substance, I don't think. And also, he doesn't have to move to the center. He just stays off to the right because that's the base.
Let's
and he doesn't care.
Let's look at what we've got
he's
happening.
Not going to move to the center. Oh my God!
Of course not. He has to be on the attack all the time. Let's look at what we're all sitting around punditry wise doing. We're saying are the Democrats moving too far left, and are they going to scare their voters and their base and scare away the people in the middle? And while on the other hand, we're never saying, ever, we never ask, has Trump moved too far to the right and lost people? No, it's just the assumption that he's got this huge, strong base.
He's not moving, as we say. He's staying where he is.
But everything he
could
does
shoot somebody
is
on Fifth Avenue and not get arrested.
Well, it'd be hard to move any further right, but everything he does is a step in that direction. Mass coordinated ICE raids starting tomorrow to try to deport people with outstanding deportation orders, in which inevitably many people will be caught up and many non-warranted searches will be done, performed.
You can dismiss it also by saying fake news, and people will believe
Absolutely. And meanwhile, we've got camps of people at the border, overcrowded.
Went to the border yesterday, and
absolutely.
And there's a question about what he saw. Was that real or not?
And nobody said. Yeah, exactly. Like the idea that this administration can't even gin up a Potemkin village that looks okay, and that instead it looks the way at best it actually looks.
Well, I would like to know, why can't somebody, 60 Minutes for instance, somebody who would be perceived as non-biased, were they all biased? No. Go down there and do a documentary on right straight down the middle documentary, so we, the American people, can see what's really going on there without the filter of politics.
AOC.
I don't know if it can be done anymore.
Well, what about the issue about us all dying in 12 years because of climate change?
Yeah.
Would you be interested, Ken? I'd be interested in hearing from some experts, PhDs, Harvard climatologists, who neither are in the pocket of the oil industry, nor are they enemies of capitalism,
In other words,
and therefore they are going to exaggerate the problem.
Is there an honest man?
Searching for an honest man.
I want Diogenes with his lamp to find an honest climatologist.
And I'll tell you what, they've done that. Guess what? And
good.
politicians
Send me the list of climatologists who are honest.
Look at the UN Committee on Climate.
The UN specifically hired critics of capitalism. Look it up.
Oh,
capitalism has critics all over the world. You can't find climatologists that don't have political opinions. You're going to inevitably
find. Work hard to find them.
But they don't exist. People are their political opinions. This is like John Rawls saying we should just govern.
Robots.
No, you know what?
We should govern by putting a veil of ignorance over our eyes.
It's not your truth, and it's not your father's truth. It's my truth.
Right.
Everything now is my truth.
Your father's Oldsmobile?
What? Yeah, my father's Oldsmobile, right.
Right.
Everything now is my truth or your truth out there in television.
Guys,
radio
we didn't have to plan a 100th episode. We are just firing on all cylinders.
Because nobody believes anything anymore except what they believe.
Well, okay, let's give you an example of how people can't agree.
That's a stupid thing to say, but wait a minute. No, now you got me riled up.
Okay. Ken's riled up. And I'm not going to take it anymore.
My name is...
Let's all pick up our microphones.
My name is Howard Beale, and I'm not going to take it anymore.
Yeah.
No, this is ridiculous.
I'm loving it.
It's your truth.
Yeah.
It's people believe what they want to believe
live in a
because they think it's true.
Post-fact world.
But what's true?
Yeah.
Well, I'll go back to climate change. If we're really going to die in 12 years, I really want to hear from a climatologist.
Maybe 10 years.
Who is neither an enemy of capitalism nor in the pocket of the oil industry. Well, and if you've got names, please email them to me, and doggone it, I'll study what they say.
Let's imagine this. That's kind of like saying, from my perspective, that's kind of like saying, well, call up the CDC and get me an epidemiologist who's not an enemy of measles, and tell me how bad the measles outbreak is. And guess what? If capitalism leads to massive climate disruption, every climatologist who researches the issue and discovers that is going to go, oh my gosh, well, I'm now an enemy of capitalism in some form, even if that just means strict regulation.
You cite a good example. For example, we've got to fight against people who are suspicious of vaccines.
Yes.
We don't want children getting polio.
Yeah.
And so we don't want scientists, epidemiologists, and physicians and so on who have an axe to grind, who somehow are affiliated with some religious group that hates vaccines.
Yeah.
We also don't want anybody at the other end of the spectrum who is so in favor of all the vaccines because they're funded by the vaccine company. I want to have... See, the problem is we can... bloviate about politics, but we can't really.
And we do.
And we do. We can't bloviate about string theory and cold fusion because I don't.
We don't
have
the facts.
I am at the mercy of the experts.
Yes,
but I want my experts to be totally unbiased.
There's a really good movie about this. It's called An Inconvenient Truth.
I just got a call on the phone. The late Dr. Jonas Salk.
Yeah.
What's that? It's a whirring sound. He's spinning in his grave.
Now, speaking of feuds and there being no truth, explain this one to me. Nancy Pelosi and AOC.
Right.
AOC actually suggested that the reason Nancy Pelosi is hard on AOC and her other 3 or 4 members of the freshman caucus that are very progressive is because they're people of color.
Yes.
And does anybody really believe that Nancy Pelosi is racist?
I got my hand up. Yes, I do. I do. Okay.
Away.
So Pelosi is hard on AOC and Ilhan Omar and the other young women of color who are newly elected representatives. Rashida Tlaib, because they are vulnerable. And they are Pelosi's true enemies. Pelosi is a Washington insider, and though she has many good intentions and does lots of good things, she wants to solidify power for the Democrats. And for her version of the Democrats, which is centrists. So as a centrist Democrat
by the way, years ago, whoever thought Pelosi would be a centrist?
Well, yeah, I mean, that's the thing. She needs to pull people in behind her. She needs people who are centrist enough, close enough to her that she can control them and run government. And the way that she does that is to recognize, which she of course already does, that Donald Trump is not her real enemy. Donald Trump is always going to exist. The Republican Party is always going to exist. There's always going to be somebody she has to run against. Trump is going to be a massive boon for her and allow her to bring a bunch of Democrats into office. She needs to bring into office Democrats that she can rally behind the bills she needs to pass to make the world a better place in her view. She's not evil. But the way that she does that is recognize that AOC and Rashida Tlaib and Ilhan Omar and the other young progressive women of color are her actual enemy because they are too far left and she can't control them.
Because they're too far left. But was it fair for AOC to say that Pelosi was guilty of, quote, the explicit singling out of newly elected women of color? Is that really fair to essentially imply
Right. So the question,
Nancy's a racist?
The question is, did she single them out because they were young women of color newly elected, or did she single them out because it was politically advantageous and it's racist because she's choosing?
Because they were simply new.
Right, exactly. So they're vulnerable. They're vulnerable, and she's choosing to attack them and try to sway the mass of Democrats and Democratic representatives to be behind her policies because these people are weak and vulnerable, and she can do it to them. Not because they're young women of color. Why are they weak and vulnerable? Because they're young women of color newly elected. So it's the question of, in a way, why is she doing it? How many levels deep are we going? Is she racist? No. Is what she is doing racist? Yes. It would be like over-policing a certain area that's full of people of a certain race trying to get at crime, but the outcome, not your intent, but the outcome is racist as opposed to
I don't think it was real smart
racist.
for AOC to imply that Nancy
Oh, maybe not. Yeah, probably not. Probably not good strategy.
She's not going to get the good committee assigned.
Why does she get so much publicity? I don't really understand. Well, she's from New York, which
she is
probably
very
darling of the media.
Yeah, she is extremely outspoken and knows how to control Twitter, just like Donald Trump does. She gets people excited.
By the way, whoever thought Trump would connect with Twitter, but he does.
He does. I mean, for years he was kind of pointless and nothing.
That's a good segue for our next story. Trump's tweets.
You're welcome, by the way.
Yeah, absolutely. So a federal appeals court has ruled that President Trump violated the Constitution when he blocked people from following his Twitter account. So it's the Second Circuit, and they're saying that he has no right to do it. It's almost like he's a public utility. So, I thought
Unfortunately, Donald Trump's tweets are piped directly into our homes just like water and electricity,
and that's
tragically.
the difference between this administration and previous administration.
Yeah. So when we come back, we're going to find out whether or not we think that it's okay for Donald Trump's tweets to be blocked, or if we all have an absolute right to engage him on the internet as to his opinions. Stick with us.
We'll be back on CRN with the Royal Oak Show. You're experiencing pain, back pain, shoulder, elbow, or hand pain from a sports injury? If so, schedule a visit with Dr. Michael Sheps, the leading expert in laser therapy for pain management. Call 310-873-4422 or go to drsheps.com. Experience Epic T, the breakthrough laser therapy system that Dr. Sheps developed to make you pain-free in less time. Laser therapy is a non-invasive, safe, and effective in-office procedure that penetrates deep into your skin without damaging the tissue. It perfectly targets areas of pain to promote fast, natural healing. Relax your muscles, ease muscle spasms, joint stiffness, and arthritis pain while increasing blood circulation. For over 25 years, Dr. Sheps has helped Olympic athletes and sports enthusiasts alike get back in the game. Schedule your visit with Dr. Sheps at his Brentwood office in California. Call 310-873-4422 or visit drsheps.com. That's DRSHEPS.com. 310-873-4422.
Imagine this is your money and someone wants to take it from you. Who is it? The IRS. They want your money, and guess what? They can legally take it, all of it if they want. Remember, they sent you that letter that said, hey, you owe us a bunch of cash and we're going to take it from you. So what do? Fight back by letting our team of experts at the Tax Helpline work it out with the IRS so you can keep your money. And we're good at what we do. When you hire us, you get a team of guys on your side that know the IRS laws and will fight to save your money. So if you owe the IRS a ton of cash and you want to keep it, call right now and learn for free how we can help you put it back in your pocket.
800-932-1597. 800-932-1597. 800-932-1597. That's 800-932-1597. The following ad contains shocking material. Listener discretion is advised. Is someone in your family playing a dangerous game of Russian roulette? Over 43,000 people die a year from drug overdose. 120 people a day. 5 people every hour. 1 person every 12 minutes. 88,000 people die every year from alcohol abuse. Over 240 people a day. 10 an hour. 1 person every 6 minutes. Somebody you know may be next. Learn how to help someone you love get away from the drugs, alcohol, and bad influences. With the FMLA, people can take a leave of absence from their job and still keep it. Call Quit Drugs 321 now at 800-378-3315, 800-378-3315, 800-378-3315. That's 800-378-3315.
Welcome back to the Royal Oak Show with our co-host Ken Jeffries and our millennial correspondent Connor Oakes. And yes, we will get to the question of whether Donald Trump's tweets should be blocked. Is he a public utility? He kind of looks like the electric company.
You just turn him on, turn him off? Wait a minute.
I wish. But before that, our beloved feature, Moron of the Week. We've got 2 pretty strong candidates.
Oh, I was going to ask you about that.
Yeah. Today, I think this first candidate is really strong. He is the principal of a Florida high school. And by the way, we're going to have a second stupid person later in the show.
I think I know what this is.
Yeah, you know where I'm going. And we'll vote on who the stupidest Moron of the Week is. So a principal from a high school in Florida, William Latson, is
already started off badly if you're in Florida.
He's been removed from his job.
Oh, good.
It takes a lot to remove a high school principal
it
from
does.
his job. After he refused to say the Holocaust actually happened because, quote, not everyone believes this historical event. He has been reassigned to an unspecified new position. Of course, you can't just
a janitorial position.
You put him in a rubber room.
Well, at least he's not in charge of educating the next generation of Americans.
Well, I presume I presume they didn't put him in charge of a yeshiva.
Probably not.
He says, I can't say the Holocaust is a factual historical event because I'm not in a position to do that as
I wasn't there.
District employee. I can't tell you that there's oxygen in the air here. I mean,
again, it's his
who knows
truth,
for
right?
sure?
His truth.
Yeah, he says not everyone believes the Holocaust happened, and you have your thoughts, but we're a public school, and not all of our parents have the same beliefs, so they'll react differently. My thoughts have nothing to do with this because I'm a public school. So he's a moron.
What part of Florida? Did it mention what part of Florida that was?
Well, it says
South
Spanish
Florida.
River in Boca Raton.
Is there a good part?
I think there's a heavily Jewish population.
Oh, my God, even worse.
One of my friends who I think usually watches this podcast lives in Boca.
You know, it's incredible. There's this.
That's where Parkland is.
There's this virulent strain of not just anti-intellectualism, but specifically anti-Semitic anti-intellectualism that runs through these online communities where people just go and they walk into an echo chamber, and they might be a dumb or uninformed person when they walk in, but they're extremely miseducated when they walk out. It's amazing how folks can be so affected and converted by that. I don't know what it is about these types of communities, but they're so seductive.
It's shameful. I bet he's a very strong candidate for more.
And he was
very
that's a public school, right?
Yeah. Public school. Yeah.
Yep. So let's get to the issue of Trump's tweets. I get that people say, well, the president uses Twitter to conduct government business, so that makes it sort of semi-public, I guess. But it is his personal opinion on Twitter. He's got his Twitter account. And it's not like anybody who's blocked has no ability to know what he said because the papers report every single tweet he issues.
Right.
So why really does a person have a...
What are newspapers? I can't remember anymore.
Why does somebody have a constitutional right to mix it up with Donald Trump on Twitter and be able to respond to him and be... I mean, shouldn't you be able to block somebody if you are on Twitter expressing opinions?
I think the difference, the answer lies in these justices probably coming to a conclusion that they have to lay down a rule that will fit many different sets of fact circumstances. If you imagine a circumstance where we're talking about Donald Trump blocking some trolls on Twitter who shout obscene things at him, or
under bridge trolls,
exactly, yes, with warts and a big axe that they swing at. Yeah, exactly. Shrek, exactly. If he wants to block Shrek, who just sends solely only curse words, it seems like an easy case. He should be able to block that person. But let's think about what if
hard cases make bad law.
Exactly. What if Trump was on Twitter or another platform wherein he decided, I'm going to block people who I don't like from finding out my, statements of the law and what the country is about and where it's going and what, actions I'm going to take. You can't rely on third parties to relay that kind of information. We think that in a democracy, more information is better. So what if he just started blocking everyone who identified themselves as a Democrat? What if his tweets were only visible by suddenly his base? What if you implemented a new computer algorithm that only shot out his tweets to prospective voters who he thinks in swing states are the important people to change the minds of?
And the court said no, right?
Yeah,
so far.
They said you can't do that. You can't block people. That if you want to go out and engage in public discourse, it's public. It's got to be everybody has equal access to it, which we like in theory. It's just a sort of a base democratic idea.
Who argued on it? Was it DOJ argued on his side? How did that come
that's
to
a good
be?
question.
I don't know. Maybe he had a personal lawyer.
I would presume that it would be the DOJ. Because it is his public proclamations. I mean, these go down in the Library of Congress as statements by the president. There's a great Twitter account that takes his tweets and retweets them as an image of a piece of paper, official White House declaration on White House stationery, because that is what he has declared. These are real proclamations from the White House. It's just like any other statement. So just seeing them on the White House letterhead is tragic and hilarious.
I hereby declare Fox News is the law of the land.
Yeah, exactly.
So when we come back, we're going to have a spirited debate on minimum wage. Of course, minimum wage always raises the issue about, it's nice to put more money in people's pockets. Not so nice for the employers to have to pay it.
Right.
But what about the people who don't get jobs now? They're suffering unemployment because there are fewer jobs. By coincidence, the Congressional Budget Office says 1.3 million Americans will lose their job with a minimum wage hike to $15. 1.3 million will be lifted out of poverty. So does that make it equal? When we come back, we'll find out if there's one side that has a stronger argument. Stick with us.
We'll be back on CRN with the Royal Oak Show.
This is the entertainment answer. Disney's live-action Lion King looks to reign over the box office as we see another of these remakes hit the big screen. Now, it isn't the last one, but might be the most anticipated, and it does look fantastic, and die-hard fans need to make sure they catch this on IMAX or at least the biggest screen in their area. Now, for those still asking, why do we need these? There are still some other solid original choices at your Cineplex. Lion King, rated PG and destined to top the box office this week, and several more to come. For this entertainment answer, I'm Matt Mungle.
Hello, I'm Fred Dreyer. I've had a MyPillow for 2 years. Before that, I had sleeping problems. Pillows would go flat, I would flip and flop all night, I would wake up with a sore neck and a sore back, and maybe even a headache. Made right here in the United States with a 10-year warranty and a 60-day money-back guarantee, there's nothing to lose. For a limited time, go to MyPillow.com and get a 2-pack of MyPillow Premiums for just $69.98. That's only $34.99 per pillow. And it's only available at MyPillow.com when you use the promo code WINNER. That's 2 premium pillows, just $69.98 with the promo code WINNER at MyPillow.com or call 800-513-3363. That's 800-513-3363 or MyPillow.com promo code WINNER for a fantastic offer.
For the best night's sleep in the whole wide world, visit MyPillow.com.
Hi everyone, this is Fred Dreyer telling you about my favorite Italian restaurant. It's Angelo's and Vinci's in Fullerton, California. Angelo's and Vinci's has the best pasta, the best seafood, the best salad, spaghetti, lasagna, and the most incredible pizza. And the chicken is delicious. Marsala, piccata, cacciatore, parmigiana, and more. For desserts, try our spumoni or our tiramisu, my favorite, flown in fresh from Italy. And the cannolis and the zeppolis are out of this world. Open for lunch and dinner. And don't miss the Sunday champagne brunch, just $23.95. Are you kidding me? It's all up the road from Disneyland at 550 North Harbor Boulevard in Fullerton, California. Angelo's and Vinci's, like Michelangelo and Leonardo da Vinci. Call 714-879-4022 or visit us online at angeloandvinci's.com.
We are the debt destroyer. Any debt you have, credit card, tax, student loan debt. Call now to get our free report that tells you how to destroy your debt. It's a great resource. Plus, when you make this free call right now, we'll have a debt destroyer expert ready to help you. They can show you how they can help you destroy your debt and get your life back on track. Debt problems don't have to be overwhelming. You can live stress-free and debt-free. Credit cards, medical bills, IRS tax problems, even student loan debt. Learn about free programs offered by the credit card companies, hospitals, and even the government that can help you slash your debt. Call right now for free information, including our Debt Destroyer Guide, a $300 value, yours free. Call right now.
800-515-6348. 800-515-6348. That's 800-515-6348.
Welcome to your island home away from home at Kaanapali Beach Hotel. Relax and unwind on 11 acres of tropical gardens by the whale-shaped pool or in a beachfront cabana. Enjoy your favorite ocean activities, culture activities, and free nightly entertainment. A perfect setting for weddings, honeymoons, family vacations, or just a weekend getaway. Experience aloha at its best at Hawaii's most Hawaiian hotel. Call 661-0011 or visit kbhmaui.com and let us welcome you and your ohana to ours.
Welcome back to the Royal Oak Show with our co-hosts Ken Jeffries and our millennial correspondent Connor Oakes. So the issue, minimum wage up to $15, bill to increase the federal minimum wage to that level by 2025, according to the Congressional Budget Office, would lift 1.3 million people out of poverty. But also, good news, bad news, it would put 1.3 million Americans out of work.
It's funny how they come up with those numbers,
Yeah.
But I don't know how they do it, but people really respect this CBO. Right. The Congressional Budget Office, Democrats, Republicans, they both they rely on it.
They do.
There are obviously philosophical issues about the minimum wage, but to me, it sounds horrible for 1.3 million people to lose their job, because when you're out of work, it's awful for your family, your security, your psyche.
Right.
To be lifted out of poverty is great, 1.3 million, but that could mean you're from 98% of the poverty level up to 102%. Right. It might not be that big a deal, whereas it's a huge deal to lose your job. And if you're 1.3 million victims,
well,
so isn't that a problem?
So step one, I think, would be to say that I think it is a big deal to go even from 98 to 102, because 98% of the poverty line is defined as unable to keep it going. You're losing 2%. You're falling behind. Maybe you're racking up credit card bills.
But we don't know it's only 4% increase. But it is, if it were, it ain't that big a deal. If it were,
right. Well, but I think getting out of the red and into the black is a huge deal. You can run it just above and save some money and do well and make a great life for yourself once you're just barely above. But to be behind is to completely lose it and slowly become more and more and more behind and get worse and worse. So I think that is a very valuable and important thing. And the other thing to think about is just that by raising people out of poverty, you're saying we're giving those people a chance to make the world a better place through their efforts and talents and putting themselves out there in the world and being productive, and that's great. And to say that that when the minimum wage causes jobs to be lost, let's assume for a moment that the CBO is correct and that those jobs will all be lost. Then you will have out there a lot of people with the motivation to start their own companies, to make moves to try to actually improve the economy and grow it. Those are now people, yes, they're out of work, but that doesn't mean that they can't ever work again. But it is people who are struggling.
They have to be retrained.
Yeah, working below the poverty line. That's a permanent situation. That's a spot where I'm, treading water and drowning slowly. So to be put temporarily out of work doesn't mean that the economy, I think, is actually worse or damaged. And also, you got to think about how those people, when you think about people who have jobs that are, like these are 1.3 million people who had jobs, right? Those jobs were frequently not keeping them above the poverty line. So to have that job is not that valuable a thing. To be working and losing and going worse and worse and worse into the red those are people that we don't need to preserve that status quo. So I don't care about losing some jobs if we materially improve the lives of so many other people.
Well, speaking of changing your status from good to bad or bad to good, what about the employers? Not everybody who employs folks is Jeff Bezos, Amazon.
Fat cat.
And I got to say, Amazon, I just saw this today, they're spending, and I forget how many millions or whatever it is, on retraining programs for their employees. I'm not sure why, but I just figured I'd throw it out.
I'm sure that they figure it's in their interest. I mean, it's great for the employees. Where I was headed, though, is there are a lot of employers that are just barely scraping by.
True.
Small businesses on the brink of bankruptcy.
Yeah.
When you talk about going from 98% to 102%, there are a lot of small companies that are saying, if we could stick with $10 or $11 or $12 an hour for our employees, we could stay in business. We could actually struggle through and hope to see a better day. But if we have to go to 15, boom, we're out of here. Is it really fair for the people who are struggling in our society with small businesses who might go bankrupt to have to pay more than the market system would suggest that they should pay? Instead, if you want to help people, why not give money to people who need a living wage as opposed to in tax dollars instead of taking money from small businesses who maybe can't afford it and forcing them to subsidize folks to work at a high level put there by politicians who want more votes who it has nothing to do with the market system.
You're right. I think that your perspective, it actually is very much in line with my perspective. The idea that you could give those people money to get them out of that sort of a situation. We do give lots of people who are working, the working poor, we give them lots of assistance from the government via tax money. We're basically subsidizing employers to be able to pay them less money by having programs like Medi-Cal and Medicare, people who would not be able to pay for their medical care, for example, or food stamps or whatever else, TANF, SNAP, all these programs, these government programs are handouts, and they're in a way handouts to poor people, but by businesses saying, oh, well, I can still get a worker by dropping my wages down, and therefore you're subsidizing employers as well. When you say these are companies that are just scraping by, maybe that company can't exist if it can, or shouldn't exist if it can't pay workers a living wage while working there. That is an unjust
It shouldn't exist if it can't pay somebody more than the market system would suggest they should be paid?
Why would you can concoct a market system situation.
But Wilbur's hardware store, why should he have to pay somebody a living wage if the government says, the living wage is above what the market system would say the hardware store employee should get?
Let's look at say whenever there's a recession. So let's go back to the Great Depression.
So I've got it in mind, a Democratic administration. Go ahead.
So we've got a recession. We've got we're in the 30s.
Ken thinks I wasn't being very fair.
Say there's a glut of employment, and you drop.
There's a glut of employment.
By the way, who was in the White House in 1929 when the stock market?
Wow, yeah, we know.
It was a Republican.
Yeah.
Well, let's see. In 1929, it was Calvin Coolidge.
Calvin Coolidge.
Who was until March of 1929, and then it was Hoover.
Yeah.
So now, if you want to be technical,
it was Hoover, right? They had the little Hoovervilles.
Yeah.
Remember the?
But let's think about it this way.
I know you weren't there, but
why do we hold up the market system as always producing a just result? It doesn't. It produces efficient results. But to say that the wage that the market system offers to pay out to workers, if a worker has to choose between starving and getting $1 an hour because there are so many people who are out of work, that means that person can be offered $1. But that's still not going to put food on the table.
System. You go to Ralph's and you want avocado toast.
I do.
As a good millennial.
Yeah.
And what do you pay for your what do you pay for your avocado toast?
$60.
The exact amount that the market bears. You don't pay $100 for your avocado toast. You don't pay 3 cents. You pay that which the market sets the proper rate.
Yeah.
Why should people's income be any different from your avocado toast price?
Can I say something about Ralph and these other markets too? Right. They're putting in now automated checkers.
Yeah.
And putting the other checkers either out of work or
it's so sad when they force the checkers to train customers to use.
Which I find,
it's un-American.
I'm not too crazy. I know it's the American way and all that, but I hate to go to McDonald's now, even though I go a little bit now. Maybe I'm an old Fart.
Blank.
Fart.
Okay.
Yeah, you could say fart.
You're an old blank.
And I have to order from the. I can't order from a living person. I have to order from this machine. And press the thing. And
it's so efficient.
Come on.
You know what I loved was when David Letterman
and get off my lawn.
Took the place of a Jack in the Box employee that would talk to the person.
Yeah, that was fun.
Yeah, it was a great skit. So anyway, let's.
I think we've solved it. I think we've solved the minimum wage issue.
Other extreme of the end. We've talked about folks that are just struggling to get by. Let's talk about some people who are not struggling to get by. $94 million net worth for Dianne Feinstein.
Yep.
Bernie Sanders, $2 million.
Right.
Elizabeth Warren, $5 million net worth. She and her husband make $1 million a year.
Nice.
Beto O'Rourke, $9 million net worth.
Dang.
Nancy Pelosi, wait for it.
When is O'Rourke worth $9 million?
Yeah, who knows?
He's smart invested.
Yeah.
Investments. Nancy Pelosi, $29 million. Now, here's my point. Explain this to me.
Mm-hmm.
People who call for income equality have way, way more than the average American.
Yeah.
The people I just mentioned have cars.
Good thing Trump doesn't call for that.
No, he has no interest in income equality.
'Cause he's broke.
But these people I just mentioned do. And yet they have cars and homes and vacations and bank accounts and net worths.
So does that make them hypocrites?
Yeah.
Yes,
that's what he's saying.
because they have the stuff. They have this wealth because they like it. They worked for it.
Yeah.
They used the system. Maybe they married into it. They live a certain way that's made possible by lots and lots of money.
They should live like paupers.
They live like royalty. They have servants. They have wealth and they have power. They don't stand in lines. And they benefited from a system that allowed them to have $10, $20, $30 million. So where do they get off talking about income equality? They don't believe in equality.
I don't understand this argument at all. I see a person who has benefited massively, who has enormous privilege, who married into wealth or inherited wealth or earned wealth, and looks at this system and says, this is fundamentally unjust. I think we should equal things out more, and we should do it by governmental action so that it is done in a fair way across everyone who has assets. That person is throwing themselves and their future and their kids' inheritance under the bus, and I respect that more. I say that person is doing a noble thing by sacrificing their own wealth and future potential because they truly do believe in something.
But they're not. They're not paying anything extra. They could pay a higher tax rate, even though it's not legal.
Are you telling me Democrats...
They could voluntarily pay it.
But why would you... But that's like saying that America should go to zero carbon emissions before China does anything. You might have to be able to... You might have to have a fair system in place.
If you find me an unbiased climatologist, I'll agree with you.
But really, like, these are people... You're going to tell me Democrats don't want to pay higher taxes? They absolutely do. Rich Democrats want to pay higher taxes. That's why they vote Democrat.
They are living proof that there's nothing wrong with having more than the average American.
That's not true.
And yet they're preaching the gospel.
Not true.
But you don't think Nancy Pelosi enjoys the fact that she has servants and she has $29 million in the bank?
How do you know she has servants?
I think she's... Well, she
All
does.
right, I made that part up.
All right,
she does.
fine.
She does, though.
If I had $29 million, I think I'd have a servant
Does she have walls
or two.
around her house? She might have walls around
I don't think she's living proof that it's okay to do what she does. I think she's living proof that it's not okay. That even a person in her privileged position has the perspective to say, what I've got is unfair. The deck is stacked against normal Americans, and it's not...
Nancy's not saying what she has is unfair.
Absolutely.
No. She and her husband, if you talk to Nancy right now, she would say, we didn't cheat, we didn't lie, we played by the rules, we worked hard, maybe we were a little lucky, so we have $29 million, so sue us. She's not going to give up half of her income or 3/4 of her income to have income equality. She complains on the stump that the CEO has 200 times the income of the janitor.
Right.
She's got 2,000 times the net worth
does that mean
of the janitor.
No, does that mean she's a hypocrite? She should give away all of her money?
To me, it means she's a hypocrite if she is objecting to our system and saying that there should be income equality. There shouldn't be income equality because there never can be.
What if she's saying that the CEO pay should be lowered and also Nancy Pelosi and her husband's pay should be lowered? That we should all be subject to rules that say that CEOs shouldn't be paid X multiple of the incoming worker's first-year wage or whatever.
If
and the
by
same
chance,
thing affects her and her campaign and the lowest paid worker on her whole...
Ring. Oh, look who's on. It's Jeffrey Epstein calling.
$500
He
million.
does not believe in income inequality.
Now, he's the exception. I think we should take his money
probably
away.
take his money away.
Exactly right.
Probably good charity.
Here's my pet
I just I wanted to get him mentioned on the show because I have a feeling we'll be talking about him in the next few
We'll
weeks.
get into the details about Epstein, but here's my problem with the people like Bill Gates and Warren Buffett saying, "Oh no, we've got to give away the billionaires' money because it's just not fair. We've the income inequality and so on." Guess what? They could give away half of their $60 billion or three-quarters.
They have
their
both.
lifestyle
Bill
would
Gates.
change a whit. They still will have their private jets.
Warren
they
Buffett
still will have their servants. But if the impact of what they're saying, namely income equality, give up what you have, if you take it away from the guy who makes $80,000 a year or $60,000 or $40,000 a year, he's going to feel the pinch.
Absolutely. Marginal value of a dollar is
Exactly
a massive
right.
power.
So I'm not impressed by the generosity of Bill Gates and Warren Buffett until they get to the point where they live like the person who makes $40,000, $50,000, $60,000
You're right.
a
I
year.
think they would be saying, I want you to take my money and give it to the person that makes $40,000 a
Isn't
year.
this like the movie Trading Places in a way? The old Dan Aykroyd.
Good point.
Only
Murphy,
without Jamie Lee Curtis in the topless scene.
Right. I would like to be Trading Places, please.
It's funny, I don't remember that. That's kind of weird.
Jeff
Ralph
Bezos.
Bellamy was in it.
I think it's funny that you don't remember
Curtis
that scene because
I would say that was a
something
formative
wrong
scene
with
in
me.
my childhood.
it was a very distinctive scene.
Yeah.
So I think the clear segue from income
memory
inequality
lane there.
to iguana hunters is very plain here. Ken, have you ever heard of an iguana hunter?
The iguana hunter. No, who was the?
It's a job.
Steve Irwin was the crocodile hunter.
Right,
This the guy's the iguana.
It's like
hunter?
a guy whose job is to shoot Sasquatch. Sasquatch, when you see him in the Everglades or something.
That guy does not do a lot of work.
There is a guy in Florida who this is his job. He is an iguana hunter, and he made a little mistake. He shot a swimming pool worker by mistake, mistaking him for an iguana.
What?
I don't know how that happens.
Okay, I know exactly how that happens. This guy came home and found his wife
in bed with an
iguana, and he shot him, and he said, "Oh no, it was the pool boy. Dang, I didn't realize."
I mean, it's like
I thought he was an iguana.
It's like confusing somebody with a cockroach. You cannot confuse a human with an iguana.
I mean, iguanas get pretty big.
The Florida homeowner was horrified when an iguana hunter shot a pool maintenance worker instead of a giant lizard with a pellet gun. Well, there's good. At least it wasn't.
There's more to this story. There's more to this story, I think.
The iguana hunter who hit the pool maintenance worker was not charged.
So is this guy?
Is that an iguana in your
moron of the month, or just another news story? I mean, this guy could be easily the moron of the month.
You know what Mae West once said? Is that an iguana in your pocket? Or are you just happy to see me?
I don't think she did.
Now, we alluded to the fact that the Disneyland is no longer the happiest place on Earth.
Right.
This is pretty remarkable. There was a brawl at Disneyland recently. A high school football coach from Texas described the mayhem. He helped separate them. The main attacker got choked out by a park goer, and then the main attacker woke up and wanted to fight. He said he kept asking, "Who choked me out?"
Right.
And wanted to fight him.
It's a viral video.
So the bad guy apparently is a fellow who was in a red shirt in front of Goofy's Playhouse in Toontown.
Yeah, of all places.
And so the man wearing a red shirt is seen taking a swing at a woman who had spat in his face. Another man steps in, and the two men starting throwing punches or punching each other.
They serve alcohol at Disneyland?
I'm not sure. Ken, do they serve alcohol these days? You go there every week or so.
So long, I don't know. But
I don't think they do. That's the shocking part about this.
that bothers me.
There is one. I think there's like one club that serves a secret club that it's hard to get into in Disneyland.
33.
Yeah, that serves
the man with the red shirt punches another woman, drags her by the hair. Children are heard crying in the background as the adults scuffle. So much for the happiest place on earth.
I'm picturing that this was some sort of like exciting like action movie sequence where they were on the Matterhorn and they're trying to throw each other off the car.
It took a long time for Disney security to get there.
Yeah.
This is definitely an e-ticket ride. And when we come back, we're going to have our second Moron of the Week candidate.
We got a lot of morons this week.
Yes, we do. We're also going to have an amazing magical solution for post-traumatic stress disorder, anxiety, depression, and you can buy it online, at least according to the sellers.
I'm in.
Stay with us.
We'll be back on CRN with the Royal Oak Show.
Savor the past and savor the glory days of Las Vegas. Enjoy 70 years of true Las Vegas history as 4 generations of family wait to greet you at the legendary Bootlegger Italian Bistro. Wine, dine, and experience Mama Maria's award-winning original recipes while surrounded by original family photos and celebrity memorabilia. Enjoy piano artistry nightly with music from the Great American Songbook in our main formal dining room. The Bootlegger Italian Bistro, open 24/7, 7700 Las Vegas Boulevard South, in the entertainment capital of the world. The Bootlegger Italian Bistro, open 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. 7700 Las Vegas Boulevard South, in the entertainment capital of the world. It's Vegas, baby.
Hi, everybody. Michael Horn from CRNTalk.com. You know, we provide you with the best in talk radio. 8 channels of talk radio, from radio on the left, radio on the right, sports talk, business talk, religious talk, Spanish talk, you name it, we've got talk radio for you. All at CRNTalk.com. Well, now we'll bring you video as well as audio. That's right. Watch your favorite shows like The Robert Conrad Show, The Fred Dreyer Program, What's Cooking Today, What's Cooking on Wine, The Lounge, and so many other shows in video right at our website, CRNTalk.com. You can also watch us on Roku. Just search CRN Talk, and you can watch us on Roku on any TV anywhere in the world. Also on Facebook Live. Go to Facebook.com/CRN Digital Talk. Facebook.com/CRN Digital Talk. Roku, search CRN Talk. Check us out on Tiki Live and at CRNTalk.com. Video for you talk fans, all from CRN Talk.
You order a glass of your favorite Cabernet, fresh asparagus, hollandaise on the side, a filet, medium rare. You unfurl your napkin with a flair, close your eyes, and prepare to listen. Ah, there it is. The sweet music you long to hear. The sizzle. The sizzle of a Ruth's Chris steak.
The most magnificent corn-fed prime beef, broiled to perfection at 1800 degrees. Some call it a sizzle. We call it an anthem.
As the waiter approaches, you think, is this one mine or that one?
Ruth's Chris Steakhouse. Like Ruth always said, life's too short to eat anywhere else.
Make a reservation online at ruthschris.com or by calling 800-544-0808.
Welcome back to the Royal Oak Show with our co-host Ken Jeffries, our millennial correspondent Connor Oakes. So our Moron of the Week feature, we have one gentleman, he's a Florida high school teacher, principal, who doubts the existence of the Holocaust, so he's been suspended. So that's moronic. Here's our second candidate. He's a fellow in Liberty, Missouri, and he's wanted for possession of drugs. And so the cops are looking for him, and they're searching, they're about to give up, and he's hiding in the bushes nearby. All of a sudden, he passes gas very loudly. Very loudly. So loudly, the sound gave up his hiding spot.
Bummer.
And the sheriff's department said, we got to give props to the Liberty PD for using their senses to sniff him out.
They came to their senses.
Yeah.
So I guess he's a controlled substance. He's being searched for. It's probably not being.
His flatulence? I don't know.
No. Yeah, but yeah, exactly.
So let's
Methane
vote, guys. Is it the high school principal who said, I don't really know about whether there was a Holocaust in World War II, or is it the suspect who passed gas at just the wrong moment?
Howard Stern is objecting because the second guy was going to call himself Fart Man, which is Howard Stern.
Yeah, Howard might sue him.
I would say that it's an easy decision to call the high school principal dumber, but I like the second story more, so I'm going to vote for the second story.
Hey! Okay, fine.
Okay. I'm going for the high school principal.
Okay, good call.
I'm sorry.
That's much better. Thank you.
So this is great. I sort of teased this idea. You can get rid of stress and anxiety. You can get rid of post-traumatic stress disorder, we're told. And how do you do it? All you have to do is wear a washable duvet cover. It's a weighted blanket.
Okay.
And they use weighted glass beads to the glass stuffing. It
You're telling me that
cuts stress.
That solves PTSD.
Yeah,
a heavy blanket.
It helps reduce a stress hormone called cortisol, decreases your heart rate, blood pressure, muscle tension. It gives you the soothing, gentle pressure that helps you relax. The blanket's filled with 15 or 20 pounds of glass microbeads in the quilting. This luxurious blanket has polyester fibers mixed in with the glass beads for extra softness. So, Ken, you're a big fan
of... Thank you, Jim Thornton, by the way. Yeah.
You're a fan of the...
Is this a sponsor of the show? No, you were actually
You're like the
just
pillow guy. You got like the pillow. So tell me, would you go out and buy a weighted cover there?
I'll tell you what, Ken.
To get rid of all of those ailments?
I don't think.
For $10 a night, I'll come to your house and lie on top of you. I'll be the ultimate weighted blanket.
For $10 a night, you come and lie on top of
If you pay him 20, he won't. So I think
that's right. As long as you take a shower, it'll be fine. Yeah.
That's right.
Hey, if I don't have to pay rent, this could work out better for both of us.
So our millennial correspondent, Connor Oakes, is familiar with this practice nowadays of online dating. And so this is a very discouraging headline, Connor. A third of women date men only because of the free food. The results are in. The Society for Personality and Social Psychology Journal has concluded these are called foodie calls as opposed to booty calls.
Oh, that's pretty good.
A quarter to a third of heterosexual women who have gone on a date with a guy that they weren't interested in, it turns out, just for a free meal.
Okay.
Women who felt dating for food was socially acceptable, they're likely to exhibit the dark triad of personality traits: psychopathy, Machiavellianism, and narcissism. Wow. So, Connor, you and your friends are familiar with this.
We should mention Connor's on the market, ladies.
So
that's his way of saying it, right?
I'll say this. I have been on that sort of date, I suspect. It might be hard to tell.
Condolences.
Right? I mean, statistically, if I've been on 3 or 4, then I've been on 1, right? They're looking at that stat. I would say that it might be hard for a guy to tell, and that might be a real bummer. But you know what? I might enjoy the pleasure of the lady's company, and so it all works out in the end.
So our final thought here today is the fact that cockroaches, we've heard that they just can't be killed. You can have an atomic bomb go off, and we now know that they carry pathogens, salmonella, E. coli, other antibiotic-resistant microbes. And so scientists at Purdue University have found that German cockroaches, the most common species worldwide, are becoming increasingly resistant to almost all insecticides.
Fantastic.
And so here's my reaction. The people who want to kill these cockroaches, have they heard about shoes?
Shoes are a very powerful insecticide.
I would think shoes could get the job done.
They can, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. So
it's good to know that at least after we all die in a nuclear holocaust and the cockroaches survive, they'll have salmonella. That's something.
I don't want to hear any more about how these guys are
You went there.
Hey, folks, thanks for watching. Have a great week. See you next time on The Royal Oak Show.
Enjoying all your favorite CRN programming is easier than ever. It's right on your TV, through your local cable provider, and on the web at crntalk.com. But when you're on the move, stuck in a plane, train, or in your car, catch up on all the shows you missed. Or listen live to your favorites. Download our CRN app from your iPhone, iPad, Android, or BlackBerry. Just search for CRN Digital Talk Radio. Or search for your favorite CRN shows on apps like iTunes, iHeartRadio, Stitcher, TuneIn Radio, AHA Radio, uTunes, and Nobex. Now you have access to all of our great shows anywhere in the world and the ability to be part of them by calling our toll-free studio line at 800-336-2225. For more information on where and how to listen, log on to crntalk.com and create your own listening experience today.
The radio channels. The radio channels. CRN.
It's time now for the polka party. This is Dick Sinclair. Welcome to the program, and away we go.